Everybody, welcome to week 3 economics course here. So we're in the halfway point here. Got our scenery up here, Washington State. And if you've never been up there, it really does look like this. So just so you know. So far in the course, those of you that are actively in there doing real good and good discussions going on. Homework's very good. As a general rule, I usually don't fail people on the homework. So if you may not max out on a homework grade, but I mean, if you're doing really bad, I send it back so you can redo it, and I help you through it there. So if you're having problems, because economics can be difficult depending on what we're talking about. So just get in touch with me if you got any problems or anything. So okay, and so a little inspiration here for those of you that are struggling, have a lot of negative stuff going on in your life, or just have that little voice in your head that says you can't do this, or you put it off. It's lying to you. So you can do it. So just stay focused and stay strong. Another running analogy here is you don't get better at running hills by walking them. When I was in high school running track, that's a true little statement there. But that applies to school. You have a certain pace you're supposed to do. You're doing school at. So it also comes back to and so it's part of it is you hear me preach about every day versus once a week or once every 2 weeks type thing. So to get you there, you got to stay focused, and you got to work on it, and not just let it go. So the other thing I mentioned about being inspired. To be inspired is a great thing, and if you're able to inspire somebody, that's an incredible thing or a great thing. And I mentioned this because sometimes when people, you go into work or wherever you happen to be at, or even at school in a classroom, or friends, I say, hey, how's it doing? Hey, how's that school thing going for you? And a lot of people are like, oh, it's really rough, tough, and can't stand to be glad when it's over, and I'm barely getting by, and don't have enough time, and all this negative stuff. And that is not very inspirational for somebody who's actually interested in what you're doing. Because attitude is a big important thing. When someone asks you how you're doing with school, the answer should be I'm loving it, doing good, or hey, I got this wonderful teacher, or whatever the case is. But I mean, it should be positive, because one of the things that I've learned through my life is people watch or observe each other, and sometimes you may never know about somebody observing you. And so, if you have a negative attitude about yourself and about the schoolwork you're trying to do, that could inspire people to not follow your lead, or to follow your lead. They say attitudes are contagious. I've noticed people went to school, and so I'm not going to do it because I heard the stories they told me about. Those stories are their stories. But they don't have to be true stories. You can change the truth of your story on, how you're doing. So positive attitude also reduces the stress. And you may have reason to have some negative, attitude because of things happening. But again, positive spin on stuff to get you through it, and relieve some of that stress, and also inspire some people to maybe, do some stuff to better their lives. So, okay, so there you go. Enough of that one. So let's get into the course room real quick. So, like I said, doing real good discussions. Those of you are in there, good. Homeworks I've seen, good. And if you have any issues, just let me know. Upcoming week here is you got 2 chapters. So you got chapter 7 and 8, I think. So chapter 7 covers production and growth. And that has to, how do things work, basically? What causes, economic growth, things like that. They got some neat little slides in here about the GDP, different countries, and so forth. We also got on the other chapter, chapter 8 here. Whoops. Chapter 8 there. just, how saving, investing, the financial system, how it works. So pay attention to definitions and terms and stuff in here. I mentioned that too, because when you're dealing with different topics, if you're dealing with economics, there's a whole language in itself. Marketing has its own language. So depending on, what you're talking about, you have different types of definitions for things. So just pay attention to that. You can look at some of these, charts they got in here. They talk about the financial crisis. In 2008 with the housing market, which, again, politics had a lot to do with that, how that all ended up. And I'm not siding with any political parties, but, best intentions sometimes have bad consequences. One of the things they did with the financial crisis was certain people in power wanted to make loans available to everybody. So there was opposition to that, but again, it didn't work, and so they went ahead and lowered standards and so forth, and poof, that's what happened. So on that topic, if anybody's interested, or you may have already seen this, there is a movie done a couple of years ago that covers that. It's a very good and factual movie about the events and the different things that were happening. So it's pretty educational thing. If you're just interested, it is a good drama movie. It's called The Big Short. Yeah, Big Short is what it's called. So, if you're interested, that's a good movie if you want to kind of, gee, what actually happened and what were some of the things that went along that caused it to happen. So there you go. And what else? So that's pretty much it for this week. I'll let you go. Again, as always, get any questions or anything, get in touch. My test question for this week, and I know some of you have been with me for a few years now, and I try to come up with stuff that you haven't seen before. So I don't know if you've seen this one, but this is me right here. So let me know what's going on in this picture. That way I know you watched the video. All right, everybody. So just have a great week. Get in touch if you need anything, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care.